Good morning. Today we'll do a very important question, a 6 marker. It comes for 6 marks and it has come a lot of times. And so you have to write it in about 120 to 150 words. Why did France, oh wait, why did France say, will they make them sing in German, even the pigeons? So if you remember the chapter, France had this line after he got to know that French will no longer be taught in the schools of Alsace and will be replaced by German. So it is a representation of his anger and frustration that he is experiencing when he got this news. So I'm giving you certain keywords. You cannot just write the story in this. You have to mention certain points. I'm giving you the keywords and you can come up with the answer. So the first is that French was natural and native to them. So if you know the cooing of pigeons, they don't learn it. It is natural to them. You learning your mother tongue is natural to them. You learning any other language will not be as natural to you as learning your own mother tongue. That is why it's called your mother tongue. So French was their mother tongue. It was natural to them. It was native to them as the cooing is to pigeons. So it is almost impossible to take that away. How much? BLE. Impossible. Wow. I will write the spelling of impossible. It is almost impossible for them to replace French with any other language of the world. Okay. Also, French is a cultural binder. Okay. It is not just a language, it is also their culture. So it is a cultural binder for the people of Alsace, as the whole community came together as soon as they realized that French will no longer be taught and Mr. M. Hamel will have to leave. So it was also a cultural binder. It brought the whole community together, right? If you remember the themes. So number one is this, that French was natural. It was impossible for them to take. Then number two, linguistic chauvinism, if you remember the meaning, is an inordinate love for one's own language. So you love your own language to that extent that you think it is superior to any other language in the world. So you try to impose that language on other people. So Germans were trying to do that on French, or the people of Alsace and Lorraine. And the problem here is imposition. Okay, if I impose anything, or if anybody else imposes anything on anyone, nobody likes that. Everybody thinks themselves to be, or wants themselves to be free. Okay, freedom of thought and freedom of expression, freedom of movement, and freedom of any other kind is necessary. Freedom basically in all aspects of life is necessary for any human being to survive. Okay, so they consider themselves to be free and want them to be free always. But if they are being imposed, okay, if they are being imposed to do something, to learn something, to give up something, that creates a problem. Okay, that is almost always the seed of the problem. And the people of France, Alsace, are being imposed with the language because the Germans think that their language is more superior to their counterpart, which is French. So this imposition is the problem. So linguistic chauvinism as a theme comes up, and anything that is imposed on the people of Alsace will be problematic. That is why France says, so if you impose, let's say, meowing on pigeons, that will not go well with pigeons, right? They will come up with another theme that we have discussed is of patriotism and resistance. So this resistance only comes up when there is an imposition on you. You will resist only something that is being imposed on you. So while this French is as a language is also a cultural binder, a symbol of their own nativity, that is French, it is also when this is being taken away from them, this comes up as a means of resisting the Germans. Number three is language is a tool for communication. Now, this is purely logistical reasons for why French, German would not be successful in the provinces of Alsace, because all the people have always learned French. They don't know German. So if the Germans are just trying to impose, okay, one day that only German will be taught, it will be difficult. If you have a tool for writing and you write with a pen, and from tomorrow, if there's a rule that you cannot write with a pen, you will have to write with a coconut, because I see a coconut right now. Okay, people might make enough adjustments to a coconut to write with a coconut, but you will be facing certain problems while writing with a coconut. So if you change a tool, okay, language here as a tool of communication, if you change that, it will always be problematic at the beginning, right? So German will be problematic for the people of Alsace as a language, as a tool of communication as well. Just that. So this will be problematic for them. So these are the problems that will come up. And also, this statement was said when he realized in totality, in completion, realized that French, how important it is to their culture, to themselves, how important learning French was to them. But he had not paid enough attention to French, so he was angry and he was frustrated. So that is when he made this statement. In anger and frustration, this also represents the anger and the frustration that is seething in of France, and he's also unhappy that Mr. Hamel will leave. So he made this statement then, and these are all the possible things that this statement, why did they will they make them sing in German? Even the pigeons represent that German, French was native to them as cooing is to pigeons, so it is almost impossible. So why are they even trying to impose German on them? It is also a cultural binder which brought the whole community together. Number two, imposition. Now we're coming to the ideological part of things, that imposition of any language would be difficult for the people of those areas to accept it readily, and this linguistic chauvinism would not go well with with the French. Number three, just purely speaking as a tool of communication, language will be changing a language would be problematic. It would be difficult. It would only cause pain and troubles in the people of Alsace. And number four, France. You can use this point at the start, in the beginning of your answer, that he made this statement when he was angry and frustrated. It also represents his anger and frustration and his resentment that he was not able to learn French when there was time, and now he won't be able to anymore. So write all these points in your answer, one in 120 to 150 words today, by today evening, and don't copy from the internet. Make all these points in this order itself. I think I've given you enough material to write. You just have to make up your own sentences now. I'll try to give you a model answer in the evening if possible, but you have to write on your own.